Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my first graphic design tutorial, and I'm going to be focusing on Adobe InDesign. And this program is very helpful for projects consisting of flyers, posters, newsletters, magazine layouts, brochures. So anything that has text, images, logos all in one document. The difference between using InDesign versus Photoshop or Illustrator is that it is great for page layouts, multiple pages in one document, such as a booklet or a brochure. So we're going to go over the whole program, showing you guys how to set up your document, going over all of the tools and how they work. And I'm just going to throw up a couple of samples here so you can see some of the work that I've created using InDesign, just to give you some ideas on projects that you could create with this program, and just to show you how far you can take it. A little bit of background about myself before we jump right into it. I am a professional graphic design and web designer. I graduated from U of M and I got my bachelor's in fine arts concentrating in graphic design, and I later took some web design courses. So I have been working professionally as a graphic designer for nearly 20 years. So I just want to share some of the things that I have learned for my education, as well as professionally working in the field. And I'm also a business owner, so I have worked with so many different clients doing so many different types of projects. So hopefully this will be helpful to you, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so I have Adobe InDesign open now, and this is the latest version, 2023, and it is on my MacBook Pro. Of course, you can also use this on a PC. So the first step is that we're going to get a new document open. So we're going to create a new file. And as you can see, the default is picas for the units of measurement. So we're going to switch that to inches. And then 8.5 by 11 is pretty standard. So that's just a one-page document, which is what we're going to create today. And you have your orientation here. We're going to keep this in portrait mode. And we're going to go to print, so that we can do a print ready document. So it automatically goes to letter, and we'll switch that back to inches. So just for demo purposes, we'll go ahead and give this 2 columns so that you can see how you can set up multiple columns in your document. So we're going to do 2. And then we're also going to keep the gutter the same here. So the gutter is just the space that is between each column. So you can make this as wide or as thin as you like. And then we also have the margins here. And the margins just show the distance from the edge of the document on all sides to the inside contents of the document. So we're going to keep this margin 1/2 inch all around. And then you also have a bleed. So the bleed is to ensure that your image prints beyond the outer edge of your paper, so that there's no white border left around the edge if you want the image to run off and have a full printed document. So we're going to go ahead and just do a 1.25 inch, 1/4 inch bleed all the way around, so that we'll be able to see our bleed when we set up our images. And then we have the slug, which is the extra space around the document. I'm going to leave this at 0. And I think that all of our settings are ready to go, so we'll go ahead and create. And then you see that your document appears here. So it just has all of the preferences that we just set. You see that we have our 8.5 one-page document. We have our 1/4 inch bleed all around. We have our gutter here, between our two columns, and then this red line here shows the bleed. So we'll want to create everything within the white box, but if you want an image to bleed outside of the document, then you would extend it out onto the red border. So that document is all ready to go. I just want to show you guys a little bit about the panel. We have our toolbar here, which gives all of the different tools that you need to create your images. So we have the selection tool, the direct select tool, your text tool. You can rotate images. You can scale your images. You have your fill and stroke color options here, gradient. So everything is going to be here. So then at the top up here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but up at the top is going to be your control panel and your menu bar. So in the menus, you have like file, edit, layout, and then you have your windows. So on this window tab here, you see that you have a lot more windows that you can open up, and they'll all appear here on the right. So we have some default things set up here. I always like to put like my paragraph, my characters, my swatches, my stroke, kind of put them all together. But you can also pull things out if you like. You can close things out. And of course, you can always reopen them here at the top. So you can kind of customize this the way you like and what works best for you. You also have your align window, your pathfinder, and then this is pretty important here on the right. You have your pages. So this just shows you all of your pages, which you can customize the way you like. So right now we have a one-page document. If we wanted to duplicate this and make multiple pages, then we can just add additional pages. And you see we have facing pages, so it creates a booklet. And then you can navigate through your page window here and go back and forth between the different pages that you would like to work in. Just showing you that I'm going to go ahead and delete those for now, because this is just going to be a demo of a one-page document. But I just wanted to show you that because that's what makes InDesign, gives it a benefit versus some of the other programs, because you have that option to create multiple pages within your document. Another thing that you need to remember when you're designing in InDesign is just to stay organized. So after you have your new document all set up, you're familiar with the tools, the next thing is to make sure that you have all of your assets ready to go, organized, so that you can get everything easily. A difference here in InDesign with your images is that your images are going to be linked from a location on your system, on your computer, or on a hard drive. You will have to link your images. This is your link window here, and you will link your images into the document, and you have to keep the images in the same location or else the link will break. So make sure that you create a folder. Right now I created a folder for demo purposes, and I have it saved in my documents on my computer on my system, and I created a folder that I titled InDesign Project. And then as you can see, we have an images folder, and so I created that and put some sample images in here that we're going to use for this demo. And then I also have a sample text document, which is just in Word, so that you can see how we're going to import this text into the document. Make sure that you get everything all set and ready to go at the start. So as you get new images or you want to add things in, you can just add them directly into your folder so that everything is together and organized, and you'll be able to link directly from that image folder that you set up. Another important thing that I want to mention about your images is that you cannot just pull an image off Google or one of your stock sites and just pull it right into InDesign. It's not going to work. It's not going to give you the high quality that you need. So another step that you have to do is to take your image and go into Photoshop. So this is just a stock photo image that I created. I'm not going to walk through Photoshop today because I want to just focus on InDesign. But if you're familiar, just bring your image into Photoshop, and then you're going to change the image to a CMYK image. So most of the time images are automatically in RGB color format, and so RGB, you would keep that if you just wanted to do a project for display purposes only, things that are going to be shown on a digital device. RGB will work for that. But in InDesign, of course, we're creating documents that we're going to utilize for print. So it's going to be a hard copy output that is printed, and when you send that off to the printer, you have to make sure that all of your images are saved into a CMYK format. Another thing that you need to do with your image before you bring it into InDesign is to make sure that you save it in a high resolution quality. And so 300 DPI will be great. So just save your image as 300 DPI in CMYK, and it'll be ready to go to import into your InDesign file. So of course the 300 DPI is to ensure that you have a high resolution image, and so that it's not going to appear pixelated or grainy, and it will come out a high quality image. I also have a Word document that I set up, and I just put in some gibberish text here just for demo purposes. I did spread it out so you can see different paragraphs and different ending non-justified paragraph settings here. So this is the sample text that we're going to use. The first thing that we'll do is we will look at how we import images. So in this program, it is going to be called placing the image. So we're going to go from file to place. And then when you click on place, you're going to navigate over to that folder that you set up wherever you decided to save it on your computer or hard drive. And so we're going to click on that folder, go into our images folder, and we're going to get that image 1, which is already set and ready to go. It is already saved as a CMYK image at 300 DPI. And of course you can do a TIFF file or a PNG, but I just saved this as a JPEG for now. And so we're going to click open, and then once you have it here, then you just click into your document and it'll be placed there. And then you can use your selection tool, and then you can move your image around. And make sure that you have the selection tool, because if you have the direct select tool, then your image will move within your box, and you don't want to do that. I mean, you can, but when you first place it in and you want to move it where it goes, then we don't want to do that. And I'll show you another way that you can place the image. You can use this rectangle frame tool, and then you can create the rectangle to the size that you would like. And then you have a blank image here, and then we'll go to File, Place, and then we'll get our image, open, and then it'll place it right into the box to the size that you like. So those are two different options. You can just place it directly, or you can create a rectangle frame and place the image there. And as you can see, it may be a little bit cropped because the image may not be the exact same size that you created. So you can use the direct selection tool just to see how large the image is, how it extends. So if you want to scale it a little bit more so that you don't have anything cutting off, you can do that. And always remember to hit the shift button when you're scaling so that you don't lose your proportions. So I am going to delete this first box, and I'm going to keep this one here because it fits right within my margin that I created. And so that is our first image there. We can move it around later, but we'll just leave it there for now. So now we're going to go ahead and place our copy from our Word document right into this text box. So we're going to go File, Place, and we're going to navigate back to our InDesign project folder. And you see this sample text file. I saved it as sample text. So this is a Word document, which was the sample text that I just showed you. So we're going to click that Word document, click Open. And then the words automatically will go into your InDesign file. So InDesign has to use a text box. So you see the text went directly there. I created this box into the margin that we had set up. And so when you click the box, you can see this little red square that has a plus sign. So that shows you that there is more text missing, and you can pull your text box down and see the rest of the text there. So you can go up, you can go down, and we still have more text exceeding. So you can click that button, click into the other margin, and then the rest of the text appears there. So it's pretty easy to navigate. You can do this between multiple pages as well. So you can have one Word document for your whole multi-page document and just keep clicking and expanding that as well. We're going to go ahead and you see if you pull down your text box, all of the remaining text will automatically go into the other column that you have set there. So that is just a quick step showing you how you can easily place text into your document. You also have the option to manually highlight text that you like, copy it, and then grab your text tool, create a new text box, and paste your text there. So you can do the manual copy and paste, or you can just place the text in here directly from your Word document. Another thing that we're going to do is create a header. So we're going to create a new text box, and we're going to type in header. So this is going to be our header to the document. And then once you have the text box selected, then you can go over to your character box and you can choose whatever font you like. We'll do maybe we'll just do Arial Black for now. And then we'll create a large header and fill that space there. And so there is our header. So what you can do, if you have multiple headers in your document, you have multiple pages with this text, once you get all of your character settings that you like, your header style, body text style, maybe we'll go ahead and do a sub header. So we'll do a subheader, and as you can see, that font is way too big, so we're just going to scale it down. And of course, subheaders are usually a little smaller than your headers, so that looks pretty good. And let's say we want to do 2 subheaders, right? So what we can do is create some character styles, and we're going to open this up because we don't have it there now. So we'll go to styles and we can create a character style. And so once you decide, okay, this is the header that I want to use for my whole 10-page booklet, so I want all the headers to be the same, you can highlight some of that header text and then create a new character style, and we'll call this header. And if you go to basic character formats, you see that all of your settings are there. So we have the font style, the size, and everything is there. So we'll say OK to create a header. And then we have our subheader, so we'll do the same thing, new character style. and we'll do subheader. And as you can see, again, we have those same preferences. So we'll say okay. Let's change this to Arial. And we're going to do 10 points. And you can change your leading here to determine how much space you want between your lines. And we can make it really big. We can make it really small. You can do auto. So there's so much you can do to format your text. You can also space out the letters between each letter. So we'll just go ahead and set it back to 0. Just kind of showing you all the things that you can do there. And then we'll do a new character style. And we see everything is there. Arial black 10. And we're going to call this body text. And hit OK. And so now, since you have everything set, I'll show you how it works. So if we had a subheader here, and we'll make it bigger. Say, I think I want to change this to a header. So instead of manually changing this to match our header, we can just click header here and it automatically will scale it. You can change it to body text, subhead, header. So once you have your character style set, it makes it really easy so that you don't have to manually change any of your character settings. You can just create the text into whatever type of format that you want based on what you set. So now we have our header, our subheaders, we have our text. And as you can see, our text is not justified here. So we're going to select all of our text and we can use our paragraph window here. And so this allows you to do aligned left, aligned right, centered, justified. And so all of those things are going to be in your paragraph window. And you can indent. You can do all of those things here. So we are going to keep it justified. And you see now things are starting to take shape. You're learning how to utilize all of your settings to make the text look exactly how you like it. And then another thing that you can do is, let's just say you wanted your text to go to the top and you wanted the image to be in the middle. But you don't want the text to run over on top of the image, right? You want it to stop above the image and you want it to continue underneath the image. So instead of having to break up this box and have one box on top, one on the bottom, then start it over here, you can just select the image. We are going to go to text wrap. And then this is going to allow you to wrap your text around your image. And so right now the text is through the image. There's no text wrap. And so we can wrap our text around the bounding box. So we'll hit that. And as you can see, the text broke up between where your image is located. So the text is on the top and the bottom. And if you move your box, your image up, or you move it down, your text is just automatically going to move around it. So that is how you can do a text wrap. This text here on the image is pretty tight, right? So what you can do is you can change these numbers here to make sure that there is an offset on the top, bottom, left, or right of your image. So we're going to go back to the wrap around the bounding box option, and then we're going to do the right offset, which is right here. Just follow the arrows. And then as you do it larger or smaller, it's automatically going to do it. Now, right now, we have this making all the settings the same selected here. So it is changing the offset around the whole image the same. So if you unclick that, then that gives you the option to make the top smaller, the bottom smaller, and then maybe you want a larger space on the right or a smaller space. So they can be different. You don't have to have the same setting across every side of the image. So that is our text wrap. We're going to go ahead and open this back up here. And we'll put our header here. And we'll do a subheader. Okay. And then we'll do another subhead here. And then you can also wrap the text box as well. So we'll text wrap our subheader so that it is within the middle of that section. So another thing that I have saved is a logo. So we'll go back to place and we'll find our images folder, and then I have Suvan's YouTube logo saved here. Now I saved this as a PNG file so that it has a transparent background. And then we'll go ahead and place this in there. And as you can see, it has a transparent background so you can see around the image. It's not in a bounding white box. So we'll take our scale tool and we will scale this image down and put this right up at the top. Move our image down, make some room, and move our subheader down. All right, and there we go. So now we have our margins, we have our headers, our subheaders, our text. We have an image that we placed in. We have a logo that we placed in. And you see that you can see all of your bounding boxes, all of your margins, and all of your bleed lines. So if you want to preview your document just to see a clean image, then you can just click the preview button and you'll see a clean preview of how your document can look. And you can just go back and forth between the normal working view and the preview view. So after everything looks the way you want it, you have your picture, you have your headers, your subheaders, you've justified your text, you have a logo in there. Maybe one more thing, you may want to round the edges of your picture. So we'll just select your image. So then we will go to Object. We'll go down to, we have all of our different effects you can do. So we're going to do corner options. And then right now you see that we have a squared off image. So you can do a fancy corner image. You can do a bevel, insert, inset, inverse rounded. And we're just going to do a regular rounded here. And then you can preview to see how it'll look. And you can round it really far, or you can just round the edges a little bit. And then you can do an inverse rounded. You can do an inset. You can do a beveled edge, fancy, or back to square. So we're going to keep our rounded edge and hit OK. And there is our sample image. So once you have everything the way you want it to be, everything looks good. Oh no, I forgot colors. I don't want a black header. What if I want to match it with this purple here? So let's go to our swatches. So we can create our different swatches. We can go to the swatch library and create a swatch, or we can use our eyedropper tool and we can pick up our unicorn here, and you see the purple. So this just made the whole box purple. So we don't really want that, do we? So we'll go back and say no. We're going to take that color and add it to our swatch library, and we will go there and turn this into CMYK. And instead of doing the box, we're going to highlight our text, and then we will create the color there so that it matches our logo. And then you can also go in and get a Pantone color, just like you would in Illustrator when you're creating your logos. You can go to your swatch library. So we'll go to new swatch color. And then you can do CMYK, or you can go down to your Pantone CMYK coated. You have your uncoated metallic. So we're going to go to our CMYK coated Pantone swatches. And then you can pick whatever number that you want. This is 100, so it's kind of similar to the purple, but we're just going to get something, a different purple tone. And so you can either go through and select the swatch that you want, or you can just scroll through and see what you like. So of course the benefit of Pantone is that you're getting a true color swatch. So you can actually provide the printer with the color number so that they can make it look really just accurate to what you like. So, you know, when you do things on the screen, screens will sometimes look different on different monitors. And so you may not get the color that you are expecting. So if you have a Pantone matching system book, you can pick out your color swatch from a hard copy book and then see what color you want from a printed sample, and then go in here and select that color number and do it that way. So of course, a lot of folks use this system for Illustrator when you're creating your logos, because you definitely want your logo to be a true representation every time you print it of the color that you like. So we have 100 here. So this is going to be like a really light color. So we'll go and get like a darker color here. And we have a new color swatch, and it's kind of a blue color, but it goes with our image here. You can always change it if you like. And let's see. You can do lighter, darker. So that's how you change your colors. So before we export our high quality image into PDF, we're going to go ahead and save our InDesign file. We'll go to Save As, and we're going to navigate back to the folder that we created, and we're going to save our InDesign file here. So we're going to title this Sample Layout. And I'm doing this at the end, but when you are actually creating something, you will want to save your document right away at the beginning. And if you don't have it on autosave, try to save your file every 2 to 5 minutes. I just constantly save as I'm working, because you never know if your system is going to crash or freeze up or anything. So just make sure that you're constantly saving your document as you're working. And so once you have your InDesign file saved, we're going to create a high quality PDF image that will be print ready. So we're going to navigate over to high quality print, and then we're going to go right back to the folder that we created. We're going to keep the title Sample Layout the same as our InDesign document, and then we'll hit save, and then all of your preferences are going to pop up. And so we definitely have one here because we only have one page. But if you have multiple pages, you can save all of them, or you can just save a couple of the pages if you like. We can create them as spreads. Right now we're going to leave that as pages. And then marks and bleeds is going to be pretty important, because when you send this to a printer, they're going to want those marks to help them know where to trim your image. So you can either do all printer marks. I like to just go in and do the crop marks. So that's going to be the edge of your document. And then I also like to show the bleed marks so that you do have the bleed there. And then you can do registration marks, color bars, you know, whatever you like. So we'll just select all for now so that you can see how it looks. And then we're going to use our bleed and slug bleed settings that we created. And then we'll hit export. So once you get back to the folder, you see that your PDF file is saved in the folder. So we're going to open that up. And there is your print ready document. And you see that we have our trim marks, our bleed marks. Our document looks good. And this is all ready to go. And this image can be emailed or brought to your printer on a USB or a drive, but this is going to be a print ready file straight to the printer, and from there you'll get your final print layout. So I do want to show you though, since we did do the bleed, I'll show you another option of doing a bleed. So we're going to take off the corner effects. We're going to make this squared, and then we're going to go back into our normal view where we can see our bleed mark. And so this image, we're going to just make it larger all the way to bleed off of the page, okay? So in this particular layout, we want this to bleed off so that we can see how that would look. And then we're just going to create a whole background color for the whole page. And we'll do like that light purple. And then we're going to say arrange. And we're going to send this to back, so that it goes behind our image. And that's why it's important for you to bring in a logo that has a transparent background. So if you put it on a colored background, you won't have that white border around your logo. So definitely don't bring in like a flattened JPEG where you'll have like the ugly white border around your image, because that just, you know, it's going to look so much more professional and put together when you have that transparent background there. Let's change this color to make it darker so that we can see it. Okay, so now our image, as you can see, this inner line is going to be our trim mark, and the outer mark there, this small border here, is for the bleed, so that when they cut on the inner line at the printer, there will not be any white showing, because the color is going to exceed past your trim mark. So let's go ahead and re-export this file so that we can see how it'll look. We'll go ahead and say sample layout 2. And we're going to make sure that we check all of our marks. And we're going to use our document bleed settings and export it. And now we have our sample layout, and we have sample layout 2. So let's see how this looks. And as you can see now, our images and our colored background is exceeding past the trim mark onto the bleed line, so that we'll have a fully colored image with no white showing around the edges. So that is it, just to show you guys a basic layout and what you can do with this program. So I hope that this was helpful, just to show you how to navigate through the application, showing you all the different tools, showing you what you can do, how you can manipulate and place images and text, creating character styles, paragraph styles, using the text wrap feature. So there's just so much that you can do, but I think that that is a good start to show you what you can do and how you can navigate through this program. So thank you guys so much, and let me know if you like this video, if you would like to see more graphic design videos with tutorials on all of the different programs, and just to give you guys some insight on graphic design and show you how you can create some projects as well. Let me know if you like this content and if you're interested in seeing more. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.